Welcome to Muslim Apologetics Australia. In this video, we're going to show you exactly the media manipulation in the West, how they promote and set up a foundation on the internet and on social media to fuel Islamophobia. Now, there's a news network that is called Newsdotcomau. It's an Australian media platform that uploads news articles each day. And as you can see in the screen, they published an article about a 25-year-old mum who gets paid $73 an hour to clean men's houses, completely naked. But she insists she doesn't feel like a sex object. So basically they promoted this, right? And they're showing this article about a lady getting naked. Well, I actually commented below that post. And I said something, and I got 5 likes for it, about 5 likes, maybe more than that. And it really stirred a bit of trouble. It got to their attention. I said in the comments, I said, if this happens in a Muslim country, we would all be shouting, Allah's brothel, Islam is oppressive to women, Muslim men treat women as sex slaves, they degrade their women by paying them to take off their clothes, on and on it will go. But when it happens in the West, it suddenly becomes freedom of rights, women are liberal, women are progressive, women are not sex objects, right? But then these idiots complain about Muslim men wanting to kill themselves in order to get virgins in heaven, yet their Western men wish to get naked paradise in their own very living room. Now, I said this, right? I exposed their Western standards because that's all they do. This media platform, all it does is attack Islam and Muslims, right? So I had the opportunity to get even and get back at them. Right? And I showed them the hypocrisy and the double standards where they parade a woman getting naked and working for sex and this is all okay and, Western men aren't perverted, but Muslim men are perverted because they seek Allah's brothel and paradise and things like this. Okay? And you'll see what happens next. News.com actually published that, about 3 hours ago, right? But recently, only 20 minutes ago, they published, and this is after my comments, right? They couldn't handle the facts. They couldn't handle my response, right? Because I exposed them. Only 20 minutes later, they got so desperate and angry, they published a news article of Osama bin Laden's letter about masturbation. Can you believe this? Can you believe this? What has Osama bin Laden got? The man's dead. This news that they post isn't something new. It's almost a decade old. Why would you want to bring up an article about a man that died a decade ago and you want to quote about him writing something about masturbation? Since when was masturbation something bad in the secular world? In the secular world, pornography and fornication and masturbation is like the primary thing that you do living in the West. So why is it now a problem if Osama bin Laden writes about it in his letter? Why is that even a problem? And, do you see the connection, right? They published something about the West, right? They saw my comment accusing them of hypocrisy, and almost 20 minutes to an hour later, they post something about Osama bin Laden and masturbation. Are they trying, do you see the connection here? Are they trying to get even back? You see that the people who are running this news media network is clearly Islamophobic. And it's interesting because when we go to the comments, you'll see a person called Jeremy Fraser. He writes, Mustafa, Christians would not get offended if News.com posted an embarrassing story about the KKK or about pedophilic priests because they do not represent Christ or Christianity. So for you, does it actually represent Islam anyway? And he's basically saying to me that I shouldn't get offended because this post is not this post is about Osama bin Laden, right? So why should it offend me? But notice the deception here. When News.com media posts such things like that, it's not really to tease or embarrass or discredit Osama bin Laden. See, I may not consider Osama bin Laden a correct Muslim, but when things like this are posted, notice the bigotry it creates. Go through all the comments and see how people are identifying Osama with Islam. They talk about Muslims having sex with goats and Muslims men perverted. And News.com know exactly the bigotry they wish to create by posting a 10-year-old post. After all, when was masturbation again something controversial or something even embarrassing in the West? Have a look at what even another Islamophobe posts under the very same post of News.com on Osama bin Laden. He actually posts a picture of a Muslim and his name is Abdul Razak, and he asks Abdul Razak about sex, and Abdul Razak replies back saying 3 to 5 times a week, and they ask him, is it a male or a female, and he says both, and then he talks about it being even animals, cow and sheep in general. So notice it's not even about Osama bin Laden anymore. It's about embarrassing Muslims in general and creating this bigotry and hatred. And if you have a look further in the comments section, you'll see a person called Brian Core here saying Islam is a scum. So notice they're not saying Osama bin Laden is a scum. They're saying Islam in general is a scum. So this proves our point. It's not really about posting funny pictures about Osama bin Laden. It's to get even at me, at my comments about the West. And additionally, it's about criticizing and embarrassing the rest of the Muslims by setting up a platform to attract all the bigots and the haters so they can continuously attack Islam and Muslims. So it's really cunning. I mean, this is what the media does. They are the troublemakers. They say, as Allah says in the Quran, I mean, Allah told us their behavior in the Quran. Allah says about the disbelievers that they say they are peacemakers, but no, they are the ones who create mischief. So News.com, you've been clearly embarrassed for exposing your own anti-Islamophobia. You're an anti-Islamic, you're an Islamophobe, and that's it. You just basically embarrassed yourself by doing that. And everyone can see it actually. I mean, you can go to my comments, you can see I've got 16 likes to it. And this actually consists of non-Muslims as well. Todd Bailey, see? These are the people who have liked my comment. Todd Bailey, Brett Fordham, these are non-Muslims. Sue, Natalie, Jake can see it. You know, as you can see, non-Muslims are actually seeing what I'm seeing. They've even given me 16 likes, and I'm actually at almost the top of the page at News.com. As you can see, News.com's page on Osama bin Laden and masturbation. And as you can see, my comments are almost on the top. It's got 16 likes and you have engagement. So this is what News.com tried to create. This hysteria, this Islamophobia, and this is what they do. You know, every couple of minutes, or you know, they have to find something about Islam. I mean, these people were so desperate that they had to dig out a trash can and find something from 10 years ago to try and cut it even. You know what I mean? So, this is just embarrassing, really. Thank you for exposing yourself.